Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be talking about GOJO versus Sukuna, and it's honestly just perfect, right? GOJO versus Sukuna, they finally got their Vanguard familiars, and now they're really back in the meta again. But not only that, Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Well, not really Jujutsu Kaisen anymore, but it's in the same universe, has released another manga, right? From the same author, there's now a new Jujutsu Kaisen manga that's going on right now, taking place 80-something years after Jujutsu Kaisen, so this is just absolutely perfect time to make this video and revisit the GOJO versus Sukuna, but this time in Anime Vanguards. By the way, guys, our goal is to get to 100k subscribers eventually, so if you want to help us reach this goal and also be part of the OG sub of AB Plays, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get this video started. Alrighty then, so we're gonna talk about GOJO versus Sukuna right now. I think it's pretty obvious already who the winner is going to be. I mean, even in the manga, right? I mean, unless you're living under a rock, you probably already know who won this fight. So first and foremost, we're gonna take a look at what these characters do. We're gonna start with GOJO, and then we're gonna move on to Sukuna. Let me just add the end here. All right, so GOJO is 1,800 to place down, costing about 88,400 to max out. This is his passive right here: damage plus 20% and SPA minus 10%. The legendary, absolutely legendary passive, one of the best passives in Anime Vanguards. Obviously, I'm just kidding. Immune to status effects, damage plus 0.1% with each wave passed. So if I do that right here, his damage is gonna keep on increasing. Now, obviously, this is such a small number that it really almost doesn't do anything, right? But I feel like it's still pretty good to take note of. Then now, his familiar, let's just max him out first real quickly, because he gets a new passive at upgrade 8. On upgrade 8, gains the ability Void, SPA 2% for each kill during Void, down to minus 10%. So if we do that, we can actually lower his SPA by a good amount for each kill that he has during Void. So right now he has 9.1 SPA from 10.2 seconds SPA, which is pretty nice, right? Okay, so we take a look at his familiar now. When an enemy leaves this unit's range, activates Void for 2 seconds and fires attack 3 on that enemy. So we're gonna turn on our visual effects right now. So what we're gonna do is essentially put the GOJO down, and you'll see that after one of these enemies leave his range, you will see that he will actually do an attack on them. So maybe if I could put him right here. Alright, as you guys can see right there, they left his range, so he did a stun move and then did a follow-up, which is from here. Now there's a 20-second cooldown here, so if I place another one, it won't just do it again. I'll have to wait like 20 seconds before that works. But since it is a local cooldown, what that essentially means is it's a local, basically. So you can have 3 GOJOs, essentially. If you have like 3 GOJOs, you can essentially put them all in a line. And I don't know if that's how it works, because I don't have Monarch-less GOJO, but I do think that the cooldown for that is local. So let's try that again right here, and as you guys can see, the stun works pretty well. That's pretty nice. It's a pretty simple ability, but I don't think you're going to be using that a lot. What you will be using a lot though will probably be his Void right here. So that's pretty much what he does. His damage though is pretty decent. Now right here he has 85,000 DPS, which is a pretty nice. 85,000 DPS is actually pretty good. I think it could be pretty high as well. I have seen it reach like 100,000 DPS, maybe if you use some buffs on him. But yeah, overall his DPS is pretty decent. It's 86,000. You will mainly be using this character for his time stops though. That is mainly what he's going to be used for. His damage is going to be there. It's going to be decent, but mainly you're going to be using him for the time stop. Alright, so that's pretty nice, honestly. But his DPS is honestly just nothing in comparison to Sukuna, which is going to be the next one we're going to cover right now, okay? So, we move him. We're going to place Sukuna down right here. He has the familiar. You guys can see right here that he's going to be doing that follow-up attack. Now, one thing that you guys should probably know here is the follow-up attack is essentially full AoE, and he does bleed there. Now, take a look at what he's going to be doing here. He only costs around 12,200 to get to upgrade 3, which is pretty nice. And if you do that, he's basically just going to be doing full AoE attacks left and right. Now, let me just give you the clear here. Sukuna has the highest DPS, if not one of the highest, okay? If not the highest DPS in the game. I think one of the only characters that can have more DPS than Sukuna will be Jin Mori. but Jinmori is a lot more expensive than Sukuna and requires buffs. Sukuna, you could literally place a single Sukuna down alone, and he will be doing around 200,000 something plus DPS to his enemies. And there's a lot of videos out there, but basically it's very hard. It's not really that hard to calculate it, but with Monarch, his damage is going to be pretty high. He also has this ability. Now his follow-up does bleed. Now if you max him out at max upgrade, actually at max upgrade he does burn, but his follow-up does bleed, something like that. So if you also use the Sinister Sanctum ability right here, you also gain more damage from that, which is hella nice. So if you add all of this together, okay, with this one right here as well, which is deals 30% more damage when attacking a boss, he deals a ton of damage. Okay, he just deals over 200,000 something plus damage, which is absolutely insane. I've spawned an Itachi right here with 1.9 million HP, and basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna try and kill him with Sukuna. See how fast he does that. Again, this is pretty much traitless Sukuna. Yeah, this is traitless Sukuna. I'm waiting for Vegeta before I reroll in Sukuna. But yeah, basically if you don't have Monarch on this character, what I've heard people say is it's a lot better to just be set to have him at his third upgrade, basically. Because at his third upgrade, he really is going to be full AoE. So if you don't have Monarch on him, or even if you actually have Monarch on him, you could basically just have him at like upgrade 3, and he's just gonna be doing multiple attacks all the time, just spamming his full AoE abilities, and be absolutely broken. Okay, be absolutely broken. I don't want to really go too deep into the calculations for Sukuna right here, but all you need to know is that Sukuna does a lot more DPS than GOJO, nearly 2 times GOJO's DPS. But to be honest, I feel like GOJO is more of a time stop support than a damage unit. And I feel like Sukuna is more of a damage unit than a support. That's basically how they're made right now. But yeah, in terms of who wins though, Sukuna definitely takes this easily, right? Sukuna is actually, if you check the tier list, most tier list, the #1 unit in the game. And I agree, okay, if you don't think Sukuna is the best unit in the game, unfortunately, he just is the best unit in the game. Bro, full AoE on placement because of his follow-up attacks, insane DPS with traitless, insane DPS even with Monarch. Now his DPS traitless is obviously not going to be that high, but with Monarch it's going to be absolutely bonkers. His only weakness is he kind of needs to be attacking new enemies all the time, but I mean that's needs to be attacking new enemies all the time, and also needs to have enemies that aren't getting one shot, which is why if I actually upgrade, for example, my Sukuna right here to max, he's gonna do more damage than these guys have HP, and he won't be proccing his follow-up attack. So take a look right here, because he has 94,000 damage and these guys have 40,000. Even though he's attacking new enemies, he's not doing his follow-up attack. But does follow-up attacks matter if the enemies are getting one shot? It doesn't. So honestly, I don't even consider that as a weakness. Obviously, he does less DPS when there's less enemies in the field, but I feel like that weakness is deserved, because otherwise he would have just been a god. But still, he is the best unit in the game, even with those limitations. I believe that without a shadow of doubt. His DPS is just way too good. He also does more damage to bosses, by the way. So that's pretty much it, honestly. In terms of pure DPS and usability and which one's actually better, I would definitely take Sukuna over GOJO. I would take Sukuna over pretty much any unit in the game. But in terms of support, if you want a time stop, then obviously GOJO is going to do that time stop more. And I feel like that's the role that they're going to be playing in. GOJO is going to be that time stop character that you can use if you need a time stop. You don't need a time stop that much, by the way. But it's just nice that he has it because his DPS is also pretty high. And then Sukuna is basically the unit you're going to use if you just want insane amounts of DPS. So that's pretty much it, honestly, for the comparison of these two. And yeah, I think I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and sub, and peace out, everybody.